Welcome to the sizzling world of love, lust, and laughs, and more importantly, desire. This is Desire Dialogues. Get ready to dive into an electrifying podcast hosted by yours truly. Have you ever wondered why your love life feels like a lukewarm cup of coffee? Ugh. Fret not. I'm here to sprinkle on some easy, practical advice and solutions to spruce things up. So we'll be diving into the pool of common struggles. Join me while we flip through the pages of love, turn up the heat on passion, and discover the secret sauce to fulfilling a spicy love and sex life. As a professional seller of sex toys since 2013, I ended up seeing that there was a gap when it comes to fulfilled relationships that you can't just really throw sex toys at to repair and enhance, right? I help individuals and couples authentically express themselves for a more harmonious relationship and sex life, whether alone or with a partner or partners, without fear of judgment and shame and old beliefs. So I have a signature program called Relationship Reignition and a kick-ass 30-day program, nice fun couples challenge to help reignite the flames. Each day you'd get a sensual and or sexual activity for each day to go ahead and act upon. So I'm glad you're here. Hit that play button and enjoy. Hello. Today we're going to talk about end of year reflections, and especially, really kind of surrounding your relationship. With the new year peeking around the corner, it's really tempting to scream, thank goodness this year is finally ending. Everyone's eager to dive into new goals, but let's hold up a minute. Instead, let's hit the brakes and kind of give props to the roller coasters of the past years, those moments, right? I want you to take a breather and really honor the chaos, see what it can teach you, and let's give gratitude a little spotlight, shall we? So there's a few questions that I'm going to link below in the show notes for you to reflect upon, especially, when you're by yourself, and also take a few breaks if you need to while you do go through these questions to yourself. So you can ask yourself questions such as, how have I flourished within my romantic relationship this year? What personal triumphs did I celebrate? Which relationship goals did we successfully accomplish? Which unforgettable moments do I want to lock in and carry into the new year? What am I grateful for within myself? How do I appreciate and acknowledge my partner in this journey? Really, really strong question right here. What shifts and evolutions in our relationship deserve some serious recognition? And that's the thing, as you're pondering upon 2023 in this light, what emotions start to surface? Were there never-ending hurdles that you faced in your relationship this past year? Did you have some deja vu conflicts, those ones that just keep coming up, that just feel like a broken record, on repeat without a freaking finale? Did you have a little trust tango, right? How often did trust issues kind of crash that relationship party? How about communication flops? When did your talks turn into a game of telephone gone wrong? Were there persistent problems that just would not take the hint to leave? Did you notice some emotional distance? That emotional ice age with that Arctic chill. And my favorite too, personal growth dilemmas. Did personal growth pull you apart more than bring you together? How about some letdowns? What relationship moments kind of left you rolling your eyes or sighing in disappointment? Was there moments of neglect where either one of you or more of you felt more invisible than Harry Potter's invisible cloak? So these prompts really, aim to spice up the relationship process, even on the less than stellar aspects of your relationship in the past year. So time for a reflection on changes that you'd like in your relationship for the upcoming year. So really, are there adjustments you want to make to keep the spark alive? Do you envision it, continuing in the same direction? Or are there shifts you're considering? Is there support you're looking to get to help you with these new goals on this new path and really help you clearly define what that relationship roadmap looks like for you personally? That is what I'm here for too. This is what I do all day long. So it's really crucial for you to ponder these aspects as you look ahead to the next chapter, the next year in your relationship journey, So you can choose, whatever style to commemorate this year. You can really, think about how you want to acknowledge all the positives and also all the negative moments that you've actually had. Would you prefer to share those reflections with a friend, with your partner, or with a coach or a therapist? Maybe indulge in a nice, delightful bath with a new candle and open a bottle of bubbly with a notebook and really sit down and take some good reflection time for yourself. And I get it. It's not all roses and candles, right? There's some negative things that can impact you, not just in your relationship. Did your job let you down? Did you not stand up for yourself enough? Did you not advocate for yourself, whether at a job, whether with family, or in your relationship? Did you not speak up about the things that you wanted, that you desire, that you want to experience? And did you do those things because you were fearful to be shut down? Did you not step into that authentic place because of shame, beliefs, and old patterns? Were those there for you? And at the end of the year, maybe grab 3 words that you're looking to embody. What are some 3 words that you're looking to embody into next year? It could be confidence. It could be, sensual. It could be, more open, vulnerable, right? Vulnerable. So, and it's really also too thinking about, okay, well, who supported me? Whose presence felt like sunshine, right? Who gave you what you needed? And remember to include yourself here if you feel that was what was happening. So we're winding down, and it's just, I really hope you can take a moment for reflection. So this guide in the show notes that you can download can really be helpful if you'd like a little introspective, right? I call it internal insight. It's just honestly how are you feeling as the end of the year approaches? It's I'm sitting here listening to all these Christmas songs, and I'm just trying to figure out exactly, what I want to leave behind as I look back through the last, 12 months. And I kind of do this every year to help me experience, appreciate what I've experienced, learn any necessary lessons, and also to grieve for what didn't go to plan. But it also serves as this incredible jumping off point for setting intentions and hopes for the next year ahead, right? So really, to set the scene, the first step is to carve out time and space for reflection. Whether you want to plan a morning, an afternoon, or an evening, schedule it in your calendar, just like you would any other important appointment. So when you get to it, make it special in your own way. Whether you're putting a record on, whether you're engaging in all of your senses to really root yourself in the present moment. And I love really being sensual when I'm being mindful. So something to activate, what I'm smelling, like a candle or some incense. That's my fave. I love that Egyptian musk incense. Whew, holla. And then, what are you looking at? Do you have a fireplace on YouTube in the background? Do you have something nice to sip on, some hot cocoa with some snacks. What do you have playing in the background? You get some music? Do you have some binaural beats, which are really, really helpful? Like, what's helping you zoom in? Are you wrapped in a cozy blanket? So I want you to take a couple of deep breaths to really center yourself and let go of what has happened so far today just to start. And then take another breath and let go of last week. And can keep continuing as you go back through the whole year, okay? Little by little, let it out. And grieve for anything you have to grieve, and just really bringing yourself into the present moment with the blankest slate you can possibly do, right? So if you had to describe your year in one word, what would it be? Right? So to start, it can be really helpful to kind of zoom out, get that bird eye view. So thinking of it as a whole, can you find one word that really encapsulates the entire year? This can be a helpful starting point before you dive a little deeper into this. And then another thing could be, what felt tough this year? Also, I know I go very fast, so you pause this anytime you need to ponder on what I'm saying. I would love this to be a part of your listening with your senses as you do your reflection to get yourself a starting point and type of outline, right? So what felt tough this year? I personally start with the lows and then end on the high. You can totally switch that order around. There may be a lot to kind of take note of here. So just, or maybe not even as much as you think. So we all have different capacities for stress. So if you need a break, make sure you take a break. What feels difficult for one person may not feel difficult for others. So here's the thing. Try not to, compare yourself to others who may have had it worse. This is about you and honoring your feelings and how you actually experience them this year. So what lessons were learned? So lessons can be really obvious ones, right? And then some are still this happened, but I still don't know what I learned from it. And it can still be really eluding. And some may be more obvious, right? Some things may have happened to remind you that self-compassion is so important. They may have weakened or strengthened your relationships, whether it's with yourself or with a partner or partners, with your family, with your kids. These lessons could have helped you kind of see what's important in your life. And they may have just reminded you that life is a freaking wild roller coaster ride. And sometimes all we can do is just hold on, right? Grab onto something, wait till it settles down. And I did ask you this a little earlier, who gave you what you needed this year? This can, help you recognize and appreciate your partner. And perhaps open your eyes to those who aren't really giving you what you needed from the relationship or from a friendship. And the next prompt is what felt joyful this year? Was there this really cool experience you and your partner did? Was there this really sexy time or night that you guys had? Make a note of what felt good, perhaps. Maybe start a gratitude journal or a gratitude jar. I'll maybe do that once a week. I'll write something in that I'm grateful for my partner. That way, if I am disappointed at some point throughout the year, I can just break that out and read those all off. Otherwise, I give that to him on our anniversary. So perhaps there were some big achievements and celebrations. And maybe was there joy found in smaller everyday rituals? Write down everything that felt good. What was your favorite day of the year? I get it. It can be tricky to just find one to remember, right? But what was it about that day that felt so good to you? By noticing the good, we can work on bringing more of that into our lives. And finally, how can you bring more of what felt good in your relationships into the new year? So think back on your answers to the previous prompts and consider how you can bring more of what felt good into the upcoming year. Perhaps that means more travel. Perhaps that means more quality time, more experiences, with your partner, and like maybe it's more about rest? What if it's more about setting boundaries? What if it's more about prioritizing alone time or prioritizing more quality time with your partner? You know, we're all different. And when you do reflect and identify kind of what really brought you joy and also the things that brought you grief, you may have a clearer understanding of what makes you happy and feel fulfilled and the things that you may need to let go or set new boundaries for. The thing is, awareness is the first step. And then you can take action, you know, that really instills that change, that invites it in. And hey, I get it. Like, you can make this list, or maybe you even just start and then you don't go back and finish it. If you need an accountability partner, all right, someone to root you on, I'm in your corner. Simply find my contact info in the show notes. I would love it if you just shoot me a message on Instagram and let me know how these prompts are going for you. Also, I have a end of the year reflection wheel. So I have different dimensions of your sex life if you are in a partnership. Different dimensions that you can reflect upon and rate from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. Also, relationships, like really, really important dimensions of relationships. I have those, it's like, these are those like wheel of life type of tools that really can help you kind of look at it and go ahead and think, okay, well, what was this about? What do I want to focus on here, right? So, dimensions of sexual wellness: foreplay, passion, sexual satisfaction, sexual frequency, exploration and creativity, intimate communication, sexual drive and desire, novelty, newness, and thrill. And then we have, then we also have like relationships. I have a relationship as well. So I'm going to include those in the show notes. It's going to be a image that you can go ahead and download, and also a checklist on the next piece where you can actually rate all those out. So you're going to have a wheel of sexual health and fulfillment. And then you're going to have a relationship health and fulfillment wheel that you can also rate. So these are the biggest dimensions that I see in my coaching business and also within myself. In the relationship one, it's like trust and respect, communication, conflict resolution, growth, as well as emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy. So a little bit of every aspect, right? Those like foundation pieces. And this is going to give you a jumping off point to figure out, all right, where should I maybe focus my attention on? Okay. Energy flows where attention goes. And you don't have to do this alone. But if you're looking back through the past year, okay, of 2023, and you were like, my relationship freaking sucked. Or I put myself in this bubble and I didn't share what I wanted. I didn't stick up for myself. Like, next year's anew, my friend. It's ready. And if you want help turning that page, which can be really difficult to do alone, that's why we have coaches. Like, they're your cheerleaders. And we make the plan for you. We help you create your own user manual, your own specific goals for yourself and for your relationship and for your sex life. And we build out the roadmap how to get there together. You know, you stay accountable when you have somebody else in your corner. And also, you're not going to see things the same way as an outside perspective does. So we have all these loads of, chock full of tips and tricks and different perspectives that you can possibly look at, as well as unpacking that backpack of belief, shame, and fear, and old patterns that don't serve you anymore, and really getting into your body with somatics to let go of those. They don't have to stay with you. You don't have to bring that back into 2024. All right, my friends. Pleasure, happiness, and joy. These are all your birthright. And you don't have to go at it alone, but you also don't need permission to enjoy them. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Here for you. If you're interested in working together to make 2024 like your year for more passion, more thrill, more happiness, more alignment with who you are, more authenticity in your sex life, your love life, and how you show up on the regular, simply hit that link tree in the show notes and book a free call. Let's chat and see if we'd even be a good fit to work together. And I can share all the ways that I could help you enhance your life. Absolutely. Because you deserve it. Until next time, my friends. Thanks so much again for listening. I would love it if you follow and subscribe to this podcast. It actually helps the podcast programs and platforms be able to recognize the sexuality type of podcasts. They're not necessarily easily searchable. So it would really help other listeners like you be able to get some really fun stuff in between their ears. So feel free to share it with a friend if you think they'd be into this too and learning more about their body, desire, and things to enhance their relationships with themselves or others. Also, all of my information to connect on all the socials, to order yourself some sex toys, are all in the link in the podcast description. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget, pleasure is your birthright, and you don't have to ask permission.